President of the U.S. Middle East Project, Daniel Levy. Levy was an Israeli negotiator with the Palestinians at Taba under Prime Minister Ehud Barak in 2001 and also at Oslo B in 1995 under Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin. Daniel, thanks for being with us. It's just so hard to come out of what Raf just said and to consider what that little girl Abigail has been going through and what she will continue to go through. But let's try to keep the big picture here. We're all waiting for this deal to begin. What could still derail it?
Yeah, Katie. Unfortunately, that's the right question to ask because we're some hours away from the beginning of the implementation, from the beginning of the releases, from the beginning of the pause. I fear that it's not going to be a simple night in Gaza either. That there may well be serious Israeli strikes as there have been in the last 46 days. Tonight, there could be something that upsets the deal. I think during the implementation of the deal, it's going to be very fraught as well. There are a lot of details. Both sides are going to have to adhere to those details for us to even just get through these 4 days. And then the question is, will we be able to see more of these Israelis being held and these dual nationals being held in Gaza coming out? Will we be able to see more quiet in Gaza? Or are we going to go back to a situation of the pulverizing of Gaza, the death, the destruction, the death toll? We're looking at these pictures of Abigail just before, and we want to see her, even though she's going to be coming to very changed home circumstances, her safe. Are we going to see the children in Gaza safe again after 5,000 have apparently been killed during the Israeli strikes? Unfortunately, without a massive effort during these days of what's being called the humanitarian pause, without a massive political, diplomatic effort, we're going to be back to death and destruction right after your Thanksgiving weekend. So that's what we have to avoid. I don't know if it's avoidable, but if it's where we're going back to, then we have to make that as short-lived as possible so we can bring this whole thing, at least this chapter, to a closure.
If you were President Biden right now and you were having discussions with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on what happens next, where do you begin? I know the U.S. has been trying to get Israel to pull back, to lessen the civilian casualties, to extend these pause periods so more humanitarian aid can get through. And according to the reporting that's out there, including in the New York Times, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has been refusing to do that. So if you're President Biden, what do you say right now? What can you do to assert some more leverage, more pressure?
I think you've got a problem because you backed yourself into something of a corner with the positions you've been taking until now. And I think you have to start maneuvering yourself out of that corner. I think you have to really be trying to pin down what is the Israeli plan? How can Israel offer guarantees that acting in self-defense will no longer mean the mass killing of Palestinian civilians and children, especially as Israel's war plans move south to where all of the Palestinians in Gaza are now kettled, are now confined to a much smaller area. And if those reassurances cannot be given, and unfortunately the last 40-plus days suggest that they will not be given, if those reassurances are not given, then I think you have to condition your support and you have to be moving very assertively towards a full cessation of this aspect of the hostilities where Israel is carrying out these bombardments. I think you also do two other things. You try and appeal to the fact that by getting some of these prisoners out, you have shown the theory that this can be done. And you try and get the Israelis to be focused on getting the rest of their people out. Therefore, more of these cessations, more days, more Israel will have to release more prisoners as well. And I think the second thing you do is you don't confine this conversation just to Netanyahu, which I imagine is what's happening. You need to be talking to a broad cross-section of those in the Israeli leadership. Netanyahu is incredibly unpopular right now, and it may well be that the only way out of this is that Netanyahu is no longer prime minister. That's not America's job.
Yeah.
But if you're talking to different factors inside the Israeli system, you may just be testing the waters on who stands where on that question.